Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here. Today I've got a VGC 14 match for you. Now this was on the Battle Spot ladder, but I wasn't live commenting at the time, but this is a really fun match and I got to use two Pokemon I've never used in the series before, so I wanted to bring this one to you. This week has been super busy with AP testing and everything, but I should be able to produce some more content now that exams are finally winding down. I hope you guys have been doing well, and I'm really excited about the Ruby and Sapphire remix, as I'm sure you guys are. I'm actually going to be doing a video about that in terms of how it affects VGC, since it will be where VGC is competed on next season. So really excited for that. But let's get into this match. So my team today was Trevenant, Hydreigon, Blastoise, and Rotom Heat. My opponent's team is Pyroar, Kangaskhan, Ferrothorn, and Azumarill. Pretty interesting, especially because Kangaskhan, Azumarill, and Pyroar, not sure if Ferrothorn, I don't think Ferrothorn was on, but recently Falco, what he goes by, he got second at Germany Nationals, and he used those Pokemon, I believe. So, Pyroar is one Pokemon that I've used before, and I think it's really cool, and it actually was one that I knew would give me a lot of trouble in team preview, which is why I brought the Hydreigon and Blastoise. But let's get into this match. My Trevenant is running a Citrus set, Horn Leech, Will-O-Wisp, Leech Seed, Protect, no Trick Room, and my Blastoise is running a set of Water Pulse, Aura Sphere, Dragon Pulse, and Protect, kindly donated by two people, so thank you guys so much. So get to feature both of them. And I'm going to bring out my shiny Hydreigon and my shiny Trevenant as my opponent goes with Kangaskhan and Ferrothorn. I'm elated to see that because that means Trevenant will be able to dominate here. Now in the first turn I probably should have went for a Protect with Hydreigon, but I was afraid my opponent would say fake out my Trevenant with Scrappy and then do something with the Ferrothorn, but looking back at it, that play really made no sense, and protecting with Hydreigon was definitely the way to go, regardless of whether my opponent Mega Evolved or not. So pretty bad misplay by me there. So my Hydreigon's going to flinch there by a fake out, but I am going to get hit the Will-O-Wisp onto Kangaskhan. That's huge because now Kangaskhan's basically completely walled, but my opponent's going to get that Gyro Ball off, and that's what I was expecting. So I'm really not sure why I didn't go for the Protector, but I lose my Hydreigon right away, so I'm down 4-3. However, in team preview, I saw that Trevenant basically walled my opponent's entire team, so I know that I just have to play carefully, beat the Pyroar, and I can still win the game. Now I bring in Rotom, and I've got complete momentum on my side, but I expect the Ferrothorn to protect here, not wanting to take an overheat. So, Ferrothorn does exactly that. I actually protected with my Rotom because I don't want it to take a power-up punch, and that's exactly what Kangaskhan does. So, great turn by me there as I hit my Leech Seed. So now Kangaskhan's both burned and seeded, meaning it's going to be taking a whole lot of damage every turn, not to mention I have Horn Leech, so to add slot offense, Kangaskhan's probably going to fall down in a turn or two, especially from the racking residual damage. Now this following turn, I expect that Ferrothorn to switch out, since Ferrothorn was one of the better ways for my opponent to beat me, and I knew that a physical attacker was probably coming in, so I went for the Will-O-Wisp, and fortunately Azumarill does switch in. Kangaskhan this time just goes for the return, expecting that Kangaskhan to faint in the next two turns, deciding Power Up Punch wasn't worth it. Smart play by my opponent, but not going to do too much since I did get it to burn. Now I am going to nail the Will-O-Wisp switch on Azumarill, which is huge, and I do get this Leech Seed off. So slowly swinging things back into my favor after misplaying pretty poorly on that first turn and losing Hydreigon. Of course, if I just went for the Protect there, I would have been in a fantastic position, but I'm still in a really good position right now that Kangaskhan's about to faint next turn, and Rotom was able to burn Azumarill successfully. So, still feel really good about my position, but I know Pyroar is my opponent's last Pokemon, so I have to really be careful here. Rotom this time going for the Protect, expecting the Protect on Azumarill. Doesn't want to take any damage from Kangaskhan. That's exactly what my opponent does. So I am able to basically knock out this Kangaskhan, even though I didn't do any damage with it this turn from the Leech Seed, and that's really awesome because Trevenant basically completely walled that Kangaskhan. So if you're having trouble with Kangaskhan, Trevenant might just be one of the Pokemon you want to use to beat it. Of course, Gourgeist does that job pretty fantastically too, but I really like Trevenant because it has the Harvest ability, which of course, if you don't know, gives you a chance of harvesting your berry when you're at any point in the game, actually. So with Citrus Berry, you might heal back and then get another Citrus Berry. But now my opponent brings in Pyroar. I don't want that Trevenant to take any damage from an overheat. I know Trevenant's the way to win the game because it beats Ferrothorn and Azumarill, so I switch it out into Blastoise. But my opponent makes an excellent prediction here, going for the Hyper Voice instead of the overheat. So that not only knocks out my Rotom, but does a lot of damage to my Blastoise, and now I'm in a really bad position because I basically have to predict when my opponent's Pyroar is going to protect and when it's not going to protect. Not only that, I have to conserve Trevenant from being knocked out, so I'm not feeling really good right now anymore. I'm down 2-3, and I know my opponent still got a Ferrothorn in the back, and I was kind of relying on Rotom Heat and Hydreigon to deal with that, but I, lost the Hydreigon pretty carelessly. So now I Mega Evolve into Blastoise, and I'm expecting a Protect from the Pyroar, which is exactly what it does. I did not Protect with Trevenant this turn because I know I need to Protect with it next turn. Now Blastoise goes for the Protect here, expecting a play rough from that Azumarill. The Azumarill actually goes for a Protect too, and so basically a turn wasted, but it allows my Trevenant to protect the next turn. If you're wondering why I didn't go for a Fake Out there, my Blastoise actually isn't sadly carrying Fake Out. When it was donated to me, it's carrying Water Pulse, Dragon Pulse, and Aura Sphere. Now that I didn't protect last turn, I know I can safely protect this turn. I was kind of expecting Pyro to switch out. I think that was the real play my opponent probably had to make to win the game, but instead, both attacks go into the protect. I am able to get this free Water Pulse off to Pyro, and that's going to be a one-hit knockout. If my opponent switched to Ferrothorn there, would have been in a considerably worse position because Ferrothorn would have been able to safely knock out the Blastoise. So I think my opponent really had to switch out the Ferrothorn there, knowing that I would go for the Protect with Trevenant, since I didn't Protect with it last turn. But because my opponent made that play, I'm able to capitalize off it. That's actually what I was hoping my opponent would go for. So I didn't see the Pyro switch out. I was very, very happy. Now Ferrothorn switches in. I know that the Azumarill is considerably nuked because it's burned, so I go for the Aura Sphere into Ferrothorn. Does a lot of damage, but doesn't KO. Trevenant's actually the second fastest Pokemon on the field now, so I get that Will-O-Wisp off onto Ferrothorn, which is great. But Ferrothorn, of course, is carrying Lumberry, so that's not too good for me, as Azumarill goes for the play rough onto that Trevenant, does a hefty amount even though it's burned, and Ferrothorn is able to KO my Blastoise. So I'm down 1-2 now, but of course I was playing for this position. I knew that once I knocked out Pyro, Trevenant would be able to most likely seal up the game, because Azumarill is still burned, and Ferrothorn will be taking another burn from Will-O-Wisp. Now I go for the Protect, just for Azumarill to slowly take some more burn damage, and to block out any potential protects from my opponent's side. Ferrothorn actually went for the Protect there, so I'm happy with the play I made there. Azumarill is going to go for the play rough, obviously going to play into that Protect, and Azumarill is going to take some more burn damage. Now, the game's not over yet, I still need to hit Will-O-Wisp. This turn I actually go for the Horn Leech, because I know Trevenant's the fastest Pokemon of the three, and that's actually a KO on Azumarill, so that's really, really good. Trevenant's going to be able to heal back to 179 HP, and I know Ferrothorn shouldn't be able to do too much with Gyro Ball, but this Trevenant is actually surprisingly fast. I actually didn't get a chance to check the EV spreads. There's a reason why it's not carrying Trick Room, though. You see there, it does around 60 damage. So, I go for the Will-O-Wisp, but Ferrothorn avoids the Will-O-Wisp and is able to get another Gyro Ball off, so suddenly I'm in some trouble. If I miss another one, I might actually be screwed, but I do have the Citrus Berry here to heal me back to 88 HP, and fortunately, Harvest activates, so I do pick up the Citrus Berry. So now, even if my opponent crits with the Gyro Ball and I miss Will-O-Wisp, I should still be able to win the game, as long as I hit one of two more Will-O-Wisps. But I get this one, and that's going to seal the game up for me. Ferrothorn at this point will not be able to KO Trevenant regardless of what it does. It does go for another Gyro Ball, of course. It's only an option at this point, since Leech Seed not going to affect me, and Power Whip not going to do very much damage at all. And now I know I just need to Protect twice to win the game, or even Protect once. But like I mentioned, Ferrothorn at this point can't one-hit KO Trevenant, so Trevenant's basically going to seal me up the game, which is awesome, because Trevenant basically picked up the KO on Ferrothorn, picked up the KO on Azumarill, picked up the KO on Kangaskhan, just through Will-O-Wisp and Leech Seeds, and the Horn Leech, of course, on Azumarill. I went for another Protect there. It didn't really matter whether I attacked or not, but I didn't want to, lose to something careless like it having a Rocky Helmet, though now I realize, since it showed Lumberry, it obviously didn't have Rocky Helmet, but didn't want anything ridiculous happen there, and I know Gyro Ball would not KO regardless, so Ferrothorn goes down, and that's a 1-0 win for me, with Trevenant basically beating 3/4 of my opponent's team, and Blastoise picking up the final KO. So the two Pokemon I added really doing work. Once again, misplayed with the Hydreigon. I realized that right after I inserted my moves, and I was like, oh boy, I'm probably going to lose Hydreigon now this turn, aren't I? Which is exactly what happened, but Trevenant was able to pull it back, and Blastoise was able to pick up the most important knockout of the game, if you ask me, on Pyroar. Let me know if you enjoyed Blastoise and Trevenant. Also, let me know what you guys think of the Ruby Sapphire remix. I'm really excited about those. As always, let's get 500 likes for daily uploads, and I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, peace guys.